In this video, we're going to give our initial thoughts and reaction to the Chiefs squeaking by the Denver Broncos, beating them by 3 points in what was probably, or could be, for most Chiefs fans, the most stressful game of the season. So let's talk about it, but first, how about those? What's up, guys? My name is Cole, and I do daily news about the Kansas City Chiefs, so make sure to sub if you're new, hit that like button. If you're grateful, even though it was stressful, that the Chiefs got the dub, check out the merch. Got some Kadarius Toney stuff, some Isaiah Pacheco stuff. It's definitely a cool way you can support the channel. There's no pressure, no obligation. Hope you guys had a great New Year's Day. It was a win, stressful win, but it is what it is. And without further ado, let's get into this video. My initial reaction to the game, I'm embarrassed. I don't know what else to say. Broncos are not a good team on the offensive side of the ball, yet somehow the Chiefs make Russell Wilson look like he's actually good. They've done it in both games. The Broncos are 4-11, one of the worst offenses in recent NFL history, yet the Chiefs let them move the ball. Russell Wilson had his career high against the Chiefs last game, and he exited early in the second half at some point due to a concussion. Still threw for a season high in stats against the Chiefs. From here, let's go into the team stats. Russell Wilson, 26 for 38, 222 yards, a touchdown and an interception. He was sacked 4 times, but still, this was probably one of his best games of the season. Mahomes, 29 for 42. He threw for over 300, most of those in the first half. 3 TDs and an interception. Here's, I think, a big weakness for the Chiefs this game. Only ran for 46 total yards. I mean, as far as receiving, this is interesting to see. You've got Kadarius Toney at the top, 4 for 71. McKinnon, 5 for 52. Kelsey, 7 for 43. That's no surprise. Sky, 3 for 33. MVS, 2 for 28. Justin Watson caught one, a big one. They weren't able to capitalize on it anyway, but that was a nice catch. Juju had a couple. Pacheco had a couple. I mean, a lot of targets, man. How many is this? 11 people targeted. Everybody that was targeted at least had a catch. They did do a good job. Jerry Jeudy, only 7 for 38, 0 TDs. Where last game, Jerry Jeudy went all the way off, had 3 touchdowns. Chiefs did a good job there. I mean, this guy, the former Missouri Tiger, was their leading receiver. He's a tight end. He had 3 for 45. Cortland Sutton, 4 for 44. A big one, though, for Russell Wilson is going to be 4 for 27 and 2 rushing touchdowns. Almost all of these rushing yards were from rushing yards in the red zone against the Chiefs. Russell Wilson did have a fumble. Nice job by Trent McDuffie there. Nick Bolton leading in tackles again. Trent McDuffie, a crazy nice sack with the strip fumble at the end of the half. Juan Thornhill did his thing with the tackle for loss. Chris Jones had a sack. Colin Saunders had a big sack. That sounded weird. Pause. George Karlaftis, sack. The defense stepped up, and we'll get to the team stats in just a second. Butker, meanwhile, missed a 3-pointer. Was 3 for 3 on extra points, but missed one because of a bad Tommy Townsend hold. Meanwhile, the Chiefs punted 5 times. So did the Broncos. If you look at the Chiefs, or the team stats, rather, I mean, this is not good. Chiefs are 2 for 9 on third downs. They're normally around 50% on the season, third down conversions. 2 for 9. I mean, that's not good. So that's a struggle. That's a worry. There's something else even more concerning, probably, than anything else we've seen that we're going to talk about in just a second here. What else? Both teams have had 12 drives, but the Chiefs had 8 less plays because they went 3 and out multiple times in the second half. The Chiefs only averaged 2.9 yards per rush, which is surprising. You know, they averaged 7.8 per pass, which is, you know, that's pretty good. Not bad. They lost a fumble. That was Kadarius Toney on the punt return. They did have 2 turnovers, though. Mahomes in the end zone. I think the 2 biggest concerns, guys, that I have is the Chiefs' ability just to put together a complete game on all 3 phases of the ball. That was Andy Reid's biggest thing in his presser this week was, hey, we need to put a solid game together on all 3 phases of the ball. They pretty much imploded on special teams. The punt game was fine. Tommy Townsend does his thing. We're not worried about that, but we are worried about field goals. Butker missed one. Missed an extra point because of a bad Townsend hold, and then Kadarius Toney fumbled in a punt return, giving the Broncos the ball in the red zone. So basically an implosion by the Chiefs special teams, not the first time this season. A definite concern moving into the postseason is going to be Chiefs special teams. Another concern is going to be a little bit here, the Chiefs not able to move the ball, especially in the second half. 2 for 9 on third downs is a little bit of a concern.
I feel like my feet got bad there in the second half. And then I missed the deep throws whenever they were there. And so When you're playing a defense like this, whenever they give you opportunities, you have to execute on them. And I didn't today. I took what was there and did a lot of good things as far as moving the chains in that first half. But in the second half, I just missed a lot of throws that I have to hit. But at the end of the day, we have to find a way to, for 4 quarters, play our best football whenever we get to the playoffs. And I feel like we still haven't done that yet.
I realize they still put up 27 points against one of the best defenses in the NFL. So hats off to them there. Mahomes, you can't throw a touchdown. You can throw a touchdown. Please do that. You can't throw an interception in the end zone for a touchback, rather. So that turnover by Mahomes was big.
Yeah, it was a bad throw, just in general. I mean, I left it really far inside. I don't know if Watson would have been able to catch it because I threw it so far inside. I thought there was a window there, but those throws we talk about that's like him or nobody, kind of like the one at the end of the half where you throw it on the sideline. If he can make the catch, he makes the catch. If he doesn't, then it's just an incompletion. But that was just a bad throw that a good player made a good play on. So I just have to be better, especially in the red zone, of not turning the ball over.
The implosion by special teams was big, but I think one of the biggest concerns, guys, out of this game, more than anything else, and I'm sure some of you will agree with me, injuries. The Chiefs got really banged up this game.
As far as the injuries go, Joe Thuney re-injured that ankle. We'll just have to see where it goes from here. They'll MRI it and do all that. Sky Moore had a laceration on his hand, right on the inside of his hand. They'll have to take care of that, too. We'll just see how he does here in the next couple days.
Sky Moore was out with a hand injury. Joe Thuney was questionable to return with an ankle injury. L'Jarius Sneed got banged up with a hip. Travis Kelce was limping off the field at one point late in the game. I mean, just those 3 alone. Joe Thuney, L'Jarius Sneed, and Travis Kelce. My biggest concern right now is let these injuries be minimal. Because moving forward, you need Thuney. You need Sneed. You need Kelce. Those are 3 of the best players on the entire team. So I think those are probably the biggest concerns, is just going to be the Chiefs' inability to hold it down on special teams time and time again, and then injuries. 2 biggest concerns. Then we got to take a look at who gets the game balls on the offense and the defense. Nobody on special teams. Game ball, we're probably going to give one to McKinnon. McKinnon had 5 receptions for 52 yards and 2 TDs. I mean, just time and time again, showing up huge for the Chiefs. 8 touchdowns in 5 games. The best red zone weapon that they have. Kadarius Toney did his thing, 4 catches for 71 yards. Travis Kelce, 7 for 43. But man, I'm probably going to give it to McKinnon. The leading rusher was Pacheco, 9 for 31 and a TD. So I do like that. We'll take that. But I'm probably going to give it to McKinnon. On the defensive side of the ball, I mean, Nick Bolton led in tackles. Chris Jones came up big, especially at the end of the game on back-to-back plays, a sack, a tackle for loss, a QB hit. Trent McDuffie had a strip sack. Sorry, I don't even know who to give it to on the defense, but while we're talking about it, I definitely got frustrated with Joshua Williams in this game. Man, he struggled with some penalties in some key moments this game. I mean, if we look at penalties, the Chiefs had 5 for 31. The Broncos had 3 for 23. They pretty much let him play, but Joshua Williams had a couple of those in some key situations. So if we're gonna give McKinnon the offensive game ball, I'm gonna give. I mean, you could argue for Bolton, 10 tackles. He had that pass batted down on 3rd down, which was clutch. McDuffie's strip sack was pretty clutch, and he was pretty good in coverage as well. Might give it to Trent McDuffie. I mean, Colin Saunders had a nice sack, so maybe McDuffie is going to grab one. Sneed had an INT. Could maybe give one to Sneed. And then special teams, I don't know that I'm giving a game ball. Maybe to Townsend for his good punts, but not for Holden. Not as a placeholder. Dig Dug with the 5. Patrick looked off most of the second half. I don't know if we should be concerned about Patrick Mahomes. I think some of the concern is going to be coaching and their ability to adjust in the second half after the team makes adjustments. I mean, if you look at the play-by-play here, let's see. In the second half, the Chiefs went punt, punt, punt. They did manage a couple touchdowns. One was on an interception from L'Jarius Sneed on short field, 4 plays for 17 yards. Then the Chiefs punted again. Multiple 3-and-outs in the second half. Chiefs had 3 plays for 2 yards. Next drive, 3 plays for 4 yards. Next play, 3 plays for 2 yards. They did put something together on the following drive. 6 plays for 65. Then 4 plays for 17, back-to-back TDs. 5 plays for 16 yards after that, punt. Hey, the defense held it down. Hats off to the defense, sacking Russell Wilson 4 times. allowing the Broncos to only go 3-12 on third downs, 1-2 on fourth down. So we'll give credit where credit is due. The Chiefs showed up just enough to win. But for part of this game, I was definitely embarrassed. I definitely have some concerns. Not of the Chiefs when they can show up and play on all phases of the ball. It just doesn't happen enough. And it's single round elimination in the playoffs, guys. You play one bad game and you're done. So if the Chiefs can fire on all three phases, I mean, if Kadarius Toney doesn't fumble, Mahomes doesn't throw a pick in the end zone and just throws it away and goes up for 3, I mean, you're possibly talking about the Chiefs winning by way more than 3 points. That could be a 13-point game instead of 3. Hats off to Denver at the end of the day. If you're a Denver Broncos fan, I don't know how you should feel about your season, but you should feel relatively good about this game against the Chiefs. You know, you're going to end your season on a relatively high-ish note. I know you lost, but you lost to the Chiefs, one of the best teams in the AFC, barely by 3. And that's after Nathaniel Hackett getting fired. Offensive line coach and special teams coordinator getting fired. You guys showed up and did a good job. Made some second half adjustments. So we got to give hats off to the Broncos there. But good God, can the Chiefs defense hold some of these offenses that struggle all season against any other team? I mean, the Broncos just lost 51-14 to the Rams the week before. Obviously, they were extra motivated. They're playing a divisional opponent. They are coming off of, you know, a bunch of their coaching staff getting fired, and they're super motivated. They want to end the season on a positive note. Some of these players probably have jobs on the line. They're trying to show up and show out. Russell Wilson is trying to play. He's basically trying to say, hey, this offseason trade was a good trade. I have what it takes for you guys. I want to perform for the Broncos, for the fans, for the coaches, for the players in a very frustrating season. So I get all that. At the end of the day, the Broncos fall to 4-12. Chiefs go to 13-3. One of the most stressful wins I've seen in a while. I'm a little nervous about the postseason. If the Chiefs can't get it together on special teams, it's going to lose us the game. If we're playing the Bills or the Bengals, we fumble in the red zone, we miss a three-pointer, we miss an extra point, are we going to beat the Bills or the Bengals? I don't know. Russell Wilson is not Joe Burrow. Russell Wilson is not Josh Allen. So definitely have some concerns now on we'll end this little rant of mine on a positive note. If the Chiefs can put it together on special teams and Mahomes doesn't throw an interception in the end zone for a touchback, you know, that's going to be a much more competitive game against some of these really good teams. They have a couple weeks until the playoffs, and then you got to figure it out. I know I've been maybe a little more negative than I have typically been during Chiefs games. And that's some of y'all critique me, like, Cole, you're a little too positive here. Well, I wasn't too positive during this game. I'm not going to lie. It was definitely stressful. I'm glad we got the win. If the Bills lose tomorrow against the Bengals and the Chiefs win out, we get first seed. So we're Bengals fans tomorrow. Hodor, you know, represent Cincinnati. But the Chiefs, I mean, in my opinion, the Chiefs need it. The Chiefs need the first round bye. They need to recalibrate. They need to regroup. And a part of it, guys, is just the Chiefs are young. 9-ish rookies on special teams. The second youngest defense in the NFL. They got some things that they got to work out. They definitely stalled on offense today, but the Broncos are not a sleeper defense, man. They're a good team on defense for sure. And with all that being said, you got to let me know your thoughts on this video, on this game. On a scale of 1 to 10, how concerned are you for the Chiefs in the postseason? Is a win, which it is, but the fact that they, you know, barely squeaked by a very dysfunctional team in the Denver Broncos that just fired their head coach, their offensive line coach, their special teams coordinator, and have one of the worst offenses in the entire NFL. Are you concerned about the Chiefs in the postseason, or is it one of those, nah, not really, Andy Reid's just doing what it takes to win, and he's going to open up the entire playbook in the postseason, and they'll make another deep postseason run, Mahomes and company leading the charge? So you definitely got to let me know your thoughts on all that in the comments down below, and until next time, let's go. Let's freaking go. How about those?